Hello everyone and welcome to another installment of my Blackrock Foundry raid guides. In today's video I'll be going over the encounter with Flamebender Ka'graz on heroic difficulty. Maybe it's Ka'graz. Whatever. The Flamebender has been hired by Blackhand to make some weapons for him and as such has a bit of a fiery temper. I swear that's totally the only point you'll hear me make in this video. This hot lady only has one phase, which depends on the amount of energy that she has, and she starts off the fight with her manservant Aknor Steelbringer. Old Aknor is a bit of a pussy, and he will die very quickly because he has no health whatsoever. So unless you're actually trying to get him as a follower and get that achievement, he should be focused down by your raid at the start of the fight. Now, as the Flamebender starts heating up, she will reach her first energy threshold of 25 energy. At 25 energy, she will cast an ability called Molten Torrent. Goddamn, that timing was perfect. The ranged or healing member of your raid affected by Molten Torrent should run that into melee and let it detonate, spreading that damage. After that, they should run right back to the position they started the fight in. Please note that Molten Torrent can also be avoided with, oh look, Mike got it again, with abilities like Ice Block and Deterrence, which are considered an immunity. At 50% Molten Energy, our hot and heavy friend Ka'graz here will summon 2 Cinder Wolves. These 2 wolves will take turns being overheated. The overheated one should be picked up by the tanks, and the other one will be kited by a fixated ranged member. The wolves will actually switch that debuff every 20 seconds, so whoever's tanking the boss should be ready to taunt right at that point. Please note that there is a fire line connecting the 2 wolves. This fiery chain will hit anybody that passes through it with a debuff called Singe, which will do a very small amount of fire damage at the start, but it can stack, so it should be avoided as best as possible. To keep things easier for the melee, your tanks should always try to put the wolves in the same spot and face them towards the furnace. The tanks should also perform a tank swap on the boss and the overheated wolf so that the same tank is never tanking 2 overheateds in a row. In order to extinguish these 2 wolves, you have to kill them within 8 seconds of each other, otherwise they will heal to about 60% health. This cannot happen because at 100 energy, Ka'graz will start casting an ability called Firestorm. Firestorm is a very healing intensive portion of the fight, and you should use healing cooldowns to get through this. It's also important for your raid members to be aware of anybody that has a debuff called Blazing Radiance, which is Ka'graz's 75% Molten Energy debuff. This debuff will pulse AoE out of that targeted person, and that person cannot run into the stack with the rest of your raid group. After Firestorm, Ka'graz gets fired up a little bit and she starts putting a tank debuff onto your tanks. They should swap at about 6 stacks. There will also be little red circles flying out of the furnace. I always tend to remind all of our raid members during this time to watch their feet. Now after Firestorm, Ka'graz's energy bars actually reset to 0, so the whole fight essentially repeats. Now 2 abilities I have not yet talked about are Lava Slash and Summon Enchanted Armament. Lava Slash targets a random ranged player and draws a line of fire to that ranged player. Now the tricky part about Lava Slash is that it erupts when it hits the targeted player, and any other members hit by that eruption will also be targeted by a lava line. These affected players will also take double damage from Lava Slash. The other ability I mentioned summons these swirling swords of doom around the room, much like General Nazgrim in Siege of Orgrimmar. Just don't stand in those, it's pretty obvious. One tricky part about that is if any ranged member or healer stays in the melee stack too long, there is a chance that they can get an armament summoned. Oh, I said it right. They can get an armament summoned on top of them and kind of fuck the melee over real quick because it gets a little bit difficult to see shit on the ground here later during the fight. That really covers most of the abilities of the fight, and it does go by blazingly fast and does get a little bit more difficult the longer into the fight that you go. Depending on your raid's DPS, you'll have to handle, we'll call probably about 2, maybe even 3 Firestorms. As far as tips for tanks go, I would definitely save your cooldowns for the phase where the 2 wolves are up because you're going to be taking a lot of stacks of Charring Breath as well as other random fire damage that's going out, plus people are always running Molten Torrent into you like dicks. That about covers all the abilities in this fight. If you are trying to get the Aknor achievement, I'd recommend doing this on normal. All you have to do is move that homie over to a corner and basically just heal through the smash he does onto the ground. It does happen during Firestorm and makes it a little bit more tricky, but it's definitely a very doable achievement as long as nobody really attacks him. Even just a tank auto attacking him can't kill him by the point that the fight is over. So hopefully this guide helps you toast this fool and get through to the next fight in this instance, which will be Chromog. Coincidentally, Chromog is the guide video I have planned next. We just gotta kill him first because we're kind of bad. And I like to say sorry, this one took me a little bit while longer to edit and put up. I just had some things to take care of in real life, and yeah, it's a pretty easy fight. So you guys probably figured this out all on your own. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and turn up the heat on the speed on this video and get you all the way through to the kill. Thank you for watching. This has been PoV. It's always a pleasure. Let me know if you have any comments or suggestions, and stop by the stream Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. See you next time.